Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, back with another video for you. The PTR was recently updated and a bunch of new legendaries were added. So far, there are 19 in total, and I thought it might make for a good video to sort of go through them all and to give you a little preview of what they all do. Just a disclaimer before we begin though, some of them are placeholders, so don't take this video as a 100% final product, and even still, I think that more will be added here soon. A good place to start is with all of the new talent rings. All 12 classes are getting new legendary rings that give you one of your talents. Now, to me it seems that these rings work across every spec, and what I mean by that is that you only need one ring and the talent they give changes when you change your spec. This seems to be the case if you look at the tooltip, and it would be smart because it would help solve that issue of people getting locked into certain specs due to all of the spec-specific legendaries. Some people have said that these will be like the new Hellfire amulets from Diablo, where the talents are chosen at random, but I don't think that's been confirmed at all, and I'd be surprised if that's the route they'd go down. I'll be reading off all of these legendaries and what they do, and keep in mind that I'll be reading the PTR talents as they are when this video was released, so these won't necessarily line up with live servers. It just makes more sense since obviously we'll be getting these updated talents with the legendaries anyways. I'll also have some timestamps in the description if you only care about certain ones. And just one last thing is that I don't play a lot of these classes, so I'll try to keep the commentary to a minimum because I have no idea for a lot of them. So, 12 in total, one for each class, and some classes just have one talent regardless of the spec since it's shared across every spec anyways. Like the Druid one for example, the Seal of the Archdruid. This one gives you the Soul of the Forest talent. For balance, that's an additional 20% damage from lunar and solar empowerment, and a cost reduction of 20 AP for Starfall. For Feral, your finishing moves deal 10% more damage and give you 5 energy per combo point. For Guardian, your Mangle deals 25% more damage and generates 5 more rage. And for Restoration, Swift Mend causes your next regrowth or rejuvenation to heal for an additional 200%, or your Wild Growth heals for an additional 75%, whichever one you cast first. For the Demon Hunter, we have the Soul of the Slayer, which gives you First Blood for Havoc spec, and Fallout for Vengeance. First Blood reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance by 35, and increases its damage against the first target hit. And for Vengeance spec, Fallout gives Immolation Aura's initial burst a chance to shatter some lesser soul fragments. Next, we have the Soul of the Deathlord for the Death Knight. Blood spec gets Foul Bulwark, which makes each charge of Bone Shield increase your max health by 2%. Frost gets Gathering Storm, which increases Remorseless Winter's damage by 15% and duration by half a second for every rune spent while it's active. And for Unholy, you get Bursting Sores, which causes Festering Wound to deal 50% more damage when burst, and enemies within 8 yards of the burst take some shadow damage. Hunters get the Soul of the Huntmaster. BM gets Dire Stable, which causes Dire Beast to generate 12 more focus. Marksmanship gets Lock and Load, which gives your ranged auto attacks an 8% chance to make your next 2 aim shots free an instant. And lastly, Survival gets Serpent Sting, which gives you a dot on your Raptor strikes and carves. The Soul of the Archmage is for mages. Arcane gets the level 100 talent Temporal Flux, which reduces Arcane Blast cast time by 5% for each arcane charge you have, so 20 max, which seems really good. Fire gets Flame On, which reduces the cooldown of Fire Blast by 2 seconds and gives it one more charge. And Frost gets Frozen Touch, which increases your chance to generate Fingers of Frost by 40%. For the Monk Ring, Brewmaster gets Mystic Vitality, which makes Stagger 40% more effective against magic attacks. Mistweaver gets Mistwrap, which increases Enveloping Mist duration by 1 second and its healing bonus by 10%, and you can move while casting it. And Windwalker gets Chi Orbit, which generates an orb around you every 5 seconds that does some AoE damage to enemies who touch it. Next up we have the Paladins. Holy Spec gets Divine Purpose. This makes Light of Dawn and Holy Shock to have a 15% chance to not start their cooldown, but rather make their next cast free. Protection gets Holy Shield, which increases your block chance by 15%, allows you to block spells, and your blocks deal some holy damage. And lastly, Retribution gets the level 100 Divine Purpose, which makes your Holy Power spenders have a 20% chance to make your next spender free. The Disciplined Priests get Twist of Fate, which causes you to gain 20% increased damage and healing for 10 seconds after healing a target below 35% health. Holy gets Surge of Light, which makes your heals and smite have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost no mana. This holds 2 charges max. And Shadow also gets Twist of Fate, which gives you 20% increased damage and healing for 10 seconds when you damage a target below 35% health. Next up, we have the Shaman. Elemental gets Echo of the Elements, which gives Lava Burst 2 charges, and effects that reset its cooldown now just add a charge. Restoration gets the same talent, but instead it gives Riptide, Healing Stream Totem, and Lava Burst 2 charges, and once again, any effects that reset their cooldowns now just give them one more charge. Also, when you consume Tidal Waves, you have a 10% chance to generate another Riptide charge. And lastly, for enhancement, you get Landslide. This makes Rockbiter increase your agility by 8% for 10 seconds. And next we have everybody's favorite class, and that's the Warlock. Affliction gets Death's Embrace, which makes our Agony, Corruption, Unstable Affliction, Seed of Corruption, and Drained Soul deal up to 50% increased damage on targets below 35% health. Notice it says up to there. The lower they are, the more damage you do. This also works for Phantom Singularity if you took that talent. So speaking as an Affliction Warlock, this seems absolutely insane for a legendary. Demonology gets Shadowy Inspiration, which causes your demonic empowerment to make your next Shadow Bolt instant cast. And Destruction Spec gets Eradication, which makes your Chaos Bolt give you a 15% damage buff to the target that you used it on for 7 seconds. The Arms Warrior gets Deadly Calm, which makes your Battle Cry also reduce the rage cost of your abilities by 100% for the duration of the buff. Fury gets Carnage, this reduces the cost of Rampage by 15. And Protection gets Vengeance, which makes Ignore Pain reduce the rage cost of your next Revenge by 35%, and Revenge in turn reduces the cost of your next Ignore Pain by 35%. And lastly, we have the Rogue, who gets the Vigor talent for all 3 specs. It is the same for all 3, you get 50 additional energy to your cap and 10% additional energy regeneration. So, those are all of the rings. Some classes came out better than others I think, especially Affliction Warlock because that new talent seems insane. Once again, keep in mind that it's all just the PTR, so don't take it as a final product. Aside from those though, we have 7 more miscellaneous ones. These all give some of your abilities a chance to proc your big healing cooldown. And just an FYI, a lot of these have the duration set to until cancelled, so they're not fully implemented yet. First, we have the Mistweaver Monk who gets the Doorway to Nowhere cape, which gives Essence Font a chance to summon Chi-Ji. Holy Priests get the Alabaster Lady headpiece. This gives you Apotheosis when Turi is summoned. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly by the way, but Turi is your artifact ability and Apotheosis is your 3-minute healing cooldown. Discipline Priests get the Inhalation Head, which makes your Power Word Radiance have a chance to grant you Power Infusion. Nothing about the actual chance percentage or duration yet. Restoration Druids get another headpiece, the Chameleon Song. This gives your Wild Growth a chance to give you the Tree of Life incarnation. As for Resto Shamans, they get the Fire in the Deep chest, which makes your Riptide have a chance to grant you Ascendance when used. And Paladins get the Topless Tower Helmet, which gives your Holy Shocks a chance to give you Avenging Wrath. And lastly, we have one with an actual placeholder name. This one is for Mistweaver Monks, and it makes it so Blackout Kick reduces the cost and casting time of your next Diffuse by 10%, and increases its healing by 25%, stacking up to 10 times. So in summary, 19 legendaries total, 12 of them are rings, one for each class that change depending on what spec you are, and the other 7 are for healers. Like I said, very early to make any final judgments, and who knows, they could add more in the coming weeks, so we'll just have to wait and see. I think the rings especially are going to be best in slot for a lot of specs out there because some of these talents just seem amazing. Maybe a little too amazing some would say, but I don't mind them. It's a good reason to keep doing stuff that gives you legendaries, so you have a better chance to get these by the time the patch rolls around. And if you want to maximize your chances for the ring specifically, obviously make sure you have your loot spec set to the specialization you have the most legendaries for. That way, the pool is smaller and your chances are increased. Note that that's assuming they do indeed change when you change specs though. I'm pretty confident that'll be the case, but you never know unless we get a blue confirmation. But that's about all I have for you for this video. If they do any major updates or add more, I'll be sure to make a follow-up to this. Anyways, I hope you found the video helpful, like it if you liked it, and thanks for watching. Peace.